Well, welcome to the Sports Showcase event on Harford TV. I'm Don Morrison, my partner Dan Gallagher. Dan, we are at a perfect field on a perfect night. I mean, where else would you want to be? What other kind of temperature would you want for this great game between Harford Tech, the host team, and the visiting Bel Air Bobcats in girls lacrosse?
Yeah, you can't draw it up any more better than we have it tonight.
And this being a Thursday night, the Orioles just won on opening day.
2-1, nice start for the season for the O's.
Yeah, well, this is our lid lifter here for the 2026 spring season. Dan, we've been on the air since 1994. That is, I can figure, 32 years.
Yeah, you've been through two of my girls at Sea Mountain Wright and done a fantastic job representing what the best athletes in Harford County have to offer.
You said that just the way I wrote it for you. Thank you. Dan, we're talking about girls lacrosse, and people probably more familiar with boys lacrosse. Let's talk about some of the differences between the two games.
Sure. First of all, the number of players on the field. With the girls game, we have 12, including the goalie, and in the boys game they have 10. And the girls game is a little bit more finesse and off-ball movement, where the guys game is a lot of power and speed and taking it to cage, and the girls game is a little bit more finesse. Also, we're talking about the cross is a little different as well.
Yeah, and the field distance for the girls is actually longer. It's like 100 yards full, and it can go behind the crease, so it really becomes like 120 yards. Whereas the men's game is 80 yards. So they have more players.
Yep.
The girls do, and they have a longer distance to cover. The difference between the games, also, as you said, finesse as opposed to maybe power in the boys' game. But the girls' game is so much fun to watch because it takes finesse, it takes the ability to set picks and pick and roll, so you're really seeing teamwork.
Oh, exactly. It's very much a team game, working off ball, setting your teammates up for success, keeping your eyes up and hitting the open cutter.
Dan, these teams tonight, the Bel Air Bobcats, last year they were 8-1 in the Yuckback. They were 11-5, but they lost a lot. They lost 5 of their 7 top starting offensive players, plus their goalies,
Yep.
Both of their goalies. So they're a young team, but talk about young. Harford Tech has, they're starting 4 freshmen, 6 sophomores, 1 senior, 1 junior, but they're 2-0.
Yep. You got to mitigate that a little bit with, some of the competition that they had. But also on Harford Tech, you got a little bit of a sister act out there with the Sears and the Atkinsons.
Yeah, as you do for Bel Air, you've got the midfielders, the sister act of Eve Kraut and Macy Kraut. So,
yep.
We do have that sister. Now, you've been coaching, and we talk about your background. You got into it because your kids got into lacrosse, and now they went to the Naval Academy, and the other sister went
to Penn State.
Went to Penn State. So you've become sort of like a lacrosse junkie. Is that a good word?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. So what is it about the girls' lacrosse game that impresses you so much?
It's the teamwork and the camaraderie. My girls still talk to their high school teammates. They still talk to their college teammates, and the friends that you make in the girls' game seem to be everlasting.
Bel Air Bobcats being introduced as starting team. Let's give them to you. Brooke Conger, she's number 2. Kayla Foudy, number 12. Finley Donahue, number 9. Ava Evans, number 16. That's the attack. The midfielders, we mentioned Eve Kraut and Macy Kraut, number 15 and number 14, the 2 sisters, a junior and a freshman. In the backfield, in the defense, it's Sarah Fatkin, number 3, Maya Sauer, number 11, Ava Guante, number 7, Abby Sweet, number 24, and number 5 is Madison Reith. The goalie is Val Maid. Now, Val's a senior, converted from defense. I was talking to her before the game. I said, look, it's like being in 5th grade when you don't know the answer. When they say, who wants to play goalie, you hide. No, Val said it's great. She loves playing goalie, even though she's never played it before.
It takes a special mentality to step up and want to be behind or in between the pipes and have a ball shot at you from 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, they shoot those things pretty hard. That's another difference. We talk about the girls' game to the boys' game. Very little padding. The girls wear like a mouthpiece and they wear goggles now. But beyond that, there's pretty much up for game.
Yeah, you can kind of tell. Oops, hold on. We got the.
We will have the national anthem in a moment. We'll give you the Harford Tech starting lineup in just a moment. So join us in honoring our country with our national anthem. We'll give you that starting lineup for the Harford Tech Cobras. As we mentioned, they are 2-0, defeated Elkton last week by 23-3. Earlier this week, they defeated Edgewood by 19-4. They'll start sophomore Anna Stearns, number 21, Hayden Hurst, number 6, Sadie Atkinson, number 23, and Presley Sears, number 3, across that front line. In the midfield, it's Jordan Sears, Oksana Jansen, and Gwen Runk. Runk, number 13, Jansen, number 17, both sophomores. In fact, all 3 midfielders are sophomores. In the backfield, Jillian Farmer, number 16, Natalie McGraw, number 14, Riley Morris, number 24, and Nuala Carney is number 15. In the nets, it's Emily Thomas, a freshman, and the other goalie they have, Dan, also a freshman.
Yeah, so, great to see some young blood out there in between the pipes. Again, like I said, it's special mentalities, plopping yourself in between those pipes and getting balls shot at you 70 miles an hour.
Bel Air Bobcats, as we mentioned, 11-5 last year, 8-1 in the Yuckback. Lost to Falston in the title Yuckback game. Then they lost in the 3A North region in the title game to Towson. They are coached by Kristen Berry. Berry in her 12th year coaching at Bel Air, science teacher in the biomedical program at Bel Air. Meantime, for Harford Tech, it's Layla Gagney. She is a wedding photographer. Dan, in case you're...
No, I'm good. Two out of my 3 are spoken for, and the other one's married to the Navy.
Okay, well, there you are. It's her 2nd year coaching the varsity. So we are just about ready to begin. Harford Tech dressed in the home white with the yellow numbers, and I'm told those numbers are going to be close to impossible to see.
Yeah, they're a little difficult to see.
Bel Air Bobcats dressed in the blue and the white. Bel Air, as we said, coming in 0-1. They lost this past week. They lost a game 10-7 to Concordia Prep of the IAAM, playing in a weird situation where they have a shot clock.
90.
Different than what we have here.
Yeah, 90 for the public schools. There's no shot clock, but in the private school girls, 90-second shot clock.
Bobcats going from right to left across your TV screen. That's Harford Tech with the ball moving up the field. Again, we mentioned it is a 100-yard field. Ball scooped up by the defenseman. Here come the Bobcats on the attack. 5 goals in the first game of the year for Macy Kraut. Macy, remember, is that number 14. She is a freshman, scoring 5 of their 7 goals. Look for her, number 14, with the ball.
Yeah, she was part of a program that I had an association with at NEMS. I think she's playing club right now for Coppermine.
Kayla Foudy is number 12. Again, they do take the ball behind the crease. That's 10 yards behind that crease.
And they'll get it around. They'll try to kind of exploit, see what holes the defense has out there, and then they'll probably jump into their offense, set some picks, do some 2-man games.
And Dan, you mentioned it's very similar to basketball. Some of the same principles, pick and roll, and
absolutely. If you're familiar with the game of basketball, you'll be familiar with the game of lacrosse.
Intercepted by the goalie. Yes, sir. Coming out there, Emily Thomas, the freshman. Emily will play half the game, and she'll be replaced by Lepito, who's also a freshman, will come in the second half, we're told. Here comes Tech with the ball. That's Natalie McGraw, number 14, taking it up the midfield. And no shot clock, so you can really stall the ball if you want, Dan.
If you want, Northwestern in one of their championships runs in their final game did a real good job of stalling the ball.
That was Eve Kraut, number 15, who brought it down. Eve, the older sister of the Kraut sisters, her sister Macy, a freshman. We mentioned it is a young team, both young teams.
Yep.
Particularly young, the Tech Cobras, with 4 freshmen and 6 sophomores in their starting lineup.
Yeah, but talking with the Tech coach before the game, what they may lack in experience, they definitely make up for in hustle and grit.
There you go. And of course, they have 2 big wins. They defeated Elkton 23-3 and Edgewood 19-4. Now, as you mentioned, and there's a situation that, Dan, let's talk about. The ball goes out. How do you determine who gets the ball?
So whoever is closest to the ball when it goes out. Now, there's going to be some times when everybody is above GLE, which is the goal line extended, and the goalie is going to be actually the closest one, and they'll award the ball to the goalie.
Here come the Bobcats on the attack. That is Kraut, Eve Kraut, number 15, with the ball.
Now you're seeing a little bit of 2-man game here.
Boy, good defense by Tech.
They'll go get it around.
12-minute periods, no score here. We're inside 9 minutes left in the first period.
Just getting it around, trying to see what weaknesses the Tech defense has, and right now it's looking pretty solid.
Looks like almost a zone defense on the part of Tech.
Right now it's a man, but you know they're sagging off if you're above the 12, and just kind of if anybody kind of cuts into the middle, they'll sag on them.
That's Foudy, number 12, with the ball. Interesting to see you have right-handers and left-handers in this game.
But the better players, Don, are ambidextrous. They can go with their right or their left.
Is that what that word means? I thought it was like an amphibian, like a frog or something. Oh, ambidextrous. I'm going to write that down and use it sometime. Here we go now on the attack. No score yet. Really, no shot on goal yet, Dan.
No, they had one whistle by.
Yeah.
But nothing on cage yet. Again, now we're setting up with a little two-man game.
Bel Air has dominated. They've had the ball in the offensive end for probably the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, Tech's had a little bit of an issue so far clearing the midfield.
Now there's a foul, and explain fouls, Dan, if you would.
Okay, so that was a definite push, and if you're inside the 8-meter, which is that closest blue line to the goal, you get awarded a free position. And there's a nice shot and a great save by the goalie.
Emily Thomas out to make that save. Again, we said Emily is a freshman. I mean, you know, think about it, Dan. Back in your day when you were a freshman, if you were playing on the varsity.
Oh, yeah. That's big stuff.
But now she's in that key position and done very well so far.
Yeah, as the goalie, you're the quarterback of the defense. You can see everything that's happening, and you got to be the voice back there for your defenders.
Here comes Tech now with the ball.
On Stern.
Stern with the shot, and the goal picked off by Val Maid. Val, number 1. Had a great time talking with her before the game, and again talking about why in the world did you volunteer as a senior to be the goalie, your defenseman. She said, well, nobody else was playing it, and I thought it would be good for the team. What an answer,
that's a great answer. You know, it's all about the team.
Oh, there's the goal.
There we go.
It looked like 14 Macy Kraut with the shot and the goal. That goal is coming at 6:25 of the first period.
Yeah, she picked the high stick side for that, and rifled it right by the goalie.
Yeah, not a chance at all for Thomas to make that save. We mentioned that Macy Kraut had 5 goals in that first game, the loss against Concordia Prep. 5 of the 7 goals. She's now got 6 in 2 games.
Not bad for a freshman.
Not bad at all. Here you'll see the replay. You'll watch how number 14 comes down there. You see number 14. She has the ball, and there's the shot. Kind of clear. A freshman? Come on now.
Freshman on freshman crime.
Come on. I don't know. When I was a freshman, if I got on the field, I'd have been so scared I would have, passed the ball as soon as I got it. Now, you know that, being a NIMS coach and being involved in development of young players, these players may be a freshman in school, but they probably played 10 years of lacrosse by this time.
They've probably had the stick in their hand since 6 years old.
Dan, we saw something, that draw that occurs here at the face-off. In boys, it's like a scrum almost.
Correct.
They're down. This is different. How different is it?
So they'll get them set in between the ball in between the 2 players' sticks, and then when they're settled, the ref will blow the whistle, and now possession is 9/10 of the law. You try to get that ball off the draw. There's a nice cut.
Great pass, great shot, and a conversion. Just like that, we are tied at 1 at 5:52. It didn't take Tech long to get even.
And again, that was some really nice off-ball movement. A really nice find as Anna cut through the defense, and it was a really nice feed. Good shot placement too.
Anna Stearns. Yeah, here's the replay. You'll see Anna Stearns, number 21, the sophomore.
See the pass. Great location and great shot placement.
That was a great pass and a great catch, and sort of like a no-look. Go ahead and, what do they call it? A no bounce in basketball. You just shoot the ball,
grab it and shoot.
Yeah. So we are tied at 1. Stearns with the goal. for Tech, Kraut with the goal for Bel Air. So, Dan, just what we hope for, and that would be a good competitive game.
Awesome.
Hard to tell. These two teams are in two different divisions. Bel Air is in the Tidings division, Harford Tech in the Hatem division, so they won't play each other again during the year unless they end up winning their division. Then they would play in the semifinals.
Yep. Okay, now the Bel Air offense getting a little organized.
Boy, what a goal by Tech. You don't want to go down 2 goals.
No.
Getting back even now?
No, especially having a young team. You want to keep that positivity, and that's a great way to start the game.
Well, Bel Air defeated Tech last year, the only time they met. So, Tech has a little chip on their shoulder. They'd like to show the big bad Bobcats that they are equal to them.
Yeah, Tech's done a really, really nice job, recently with their athletic programs.
They really have. I go back to the 1990s where, girls sports at Tech weren't quite on the level. But now they have so many programs. Tech, I like to call it a school that everybody wants to get into because they have so many great programs.
Yep, prepares them for that next level.
Yeah. From nursing to cosmetology to
flower arrangement.
Yeah, I mean, the programs that really prepare you not only for work, but for college as well.
Pass into the middle, couldn't connect.
Dan, we go back to 1976 when Tech came about. And at the time, you went to your regular school, and then half a day you came to Tech.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then around about 1990, they started doing a full-day program at Tech and having a 9th grade. Used to be that you came here as a 10th grader. Now it is.
I think we got a foul in between the restraining lines.
Restraining lines, again, they are from about the what, 15?
Yeah.
And so if it happens outside the restraining line, it's what, a 1-minute penalty?
If it's inside the between the 2 restraining lines, it'll be a green card, and you'll get a 1-minute penalty. I'm not sure if that was outside or inside, but definitely. There's another foul.
Now, when we have a foul, then you go off the field for 1 minute or 2 minutes.
Correct.
So is Bel Air playing down a person?
No, Tech is down 2.
Tech is down 2 people. Wow. For a minute each, so they're releasable if Bel Air would score. But now all you want to do is last that minute out, right?
Yeah, so if you get the ball, which, they almost did, you try to play keep away from the Bel Air Bobcats. But right now, the Bobcats are going to go on offense. They're going to
What's the call?
We have offsides.
Okay.
You have to have 4 players behind the restraining line. No matter if you're 2 players down, 1 player down, and Hartford Tech had 3 back, so it was an offside. So they get the girl back on the other side of the restraining line, and Bel Air gets the ball.
Looking to try to get the shot off. Great defense by Tech. Not sure how long this minute has to go. Right now they've been looking for the shot, looking to try to get open.
Yep. Oh.
And the goal.
Oh, they tried to pass it to one of the Bobcats in the middle and missed the pass, but it actually went in the goal.
Whoa. That's like a line drive in the scorebook, right?
Yep.
Don't know who is the goal scorer there, do you?
I think it might have been Macy again.
Macy Kraut, number 14.
Yep.
Looks like she's getting the FaceTime on TV. If so, that would be her second goal and her 7th of the year. That one coming kind of a fluke goal, as you said.
Yeah, a little bit of a miss pass, but it looks like like you said, a line drive in the box score.
Yep. When you get that little bleeder, here's the replay. You'll be able to see how there's a kind of as you said, an attempted pass, and it sort of bounces around and goes in.
She was trying to hit number 4. Couldn't connect, but connected with the goal.
And see, later she'll say that was a fake. We faked out the announcer. He thought it was a pass. It was actually a shot.
Screen in the goalie, just like in hockey.
There you go. Well, here we go now. It's 2-1. The Bel Air Bobcats taking the lead at 3:10 left here in the first period. And you see here this draw that we're talking about.
The official will put the ball in between the sticks of the 2 draw control girls, and when he's satisfied, he'll blow the whistle, and the girl who's actually taking the draw is going to try to direct it to one of her teammates on the circle, or she could direct it to herself and get the draw control that way.
Well, if you can get the draw, obviously you get possession of the ball.
Yep. Possession is 9/10 of the law, and possession is king.
Yep.
Now, right now, Harford is going into a little bit of a stall because they still have a couple players in the sin bin.
Yep, and they are they're on offense, so if they can keep the ball here, work that time.
It's unusual because right now with them having a 2-player advantage, that they're not trying to double team the ball.
Yeah, you're talking about Bel Air double team.
Yep.
Tech is doing a great job. Not sure how much time is left. There were 2 separate penalties, so one girl will come back, and the other will stay out for the length of their penalty.
Okay.
And here comes the one back.
Yep.
So now
they're only one down.
Yeah, we have 11 Tech players on the field. And now here comes the second one, so they're almost simultaneous. Yep. And now we are at equal strength, and Tech has the ball.
And you'll hear all the girls yell, even, 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 which means everybody's at full strength.
What's the call?
It looked like a little push for the ball carrier, beyond the 8-meter, so right around the 12. So it's not a free position shot, but she gets awarded the ball.
Oh,
nice defense.
That is great defense by the Bobcats, trying to pick up that number of the Bobcats.
Yeah, I think that was Eve Kraut that time.
Yeah, Eve Kraut, the number 15.
And she's taking the ball
all the way
to cage.
And Eve will shoot.
Oh, nice save by the
Thomas. Wow, that's called one-on-one, That's when you're saying, how brave am I? Emily Thomas, again, the freshman goalie for the Tech Cobras. Bobcats leading 2-1. They went up 1-0 at 6:25, tied at 5:52, and now up again at 3:10, 2-1. Macy Kraut with both goals for the Bel Air Bobcats. Anna Stearns with the goal for Harford Tech.
She plays for me with the 28s at Crush Lacrosse out of Perry Hall.
Stearns, you're talking about sophomore still.
And she got some really nice compliments and nice looks from college coaches this fall.
Wow. Again, as a sophomore.
Yeah, that's their big-time summer. There we go.
Oh, great shot. Beating the goalie, Val Maid, not able to knock it down.
I think that was Anna again.
Anna Stearns, number 21, the sophomore. So it is the Kraut-Stearns show at this point. So we're tied again at 29 seconds left here in the first period. Here you'll see the replay how Anna Stearns, great dodge.
See the way she kept, her stick free from the defenders that were trying to dislodge the ball, and then great shot placement.
And Val Maid had no chance at all. That ball shot up in the upper right quadrant of the goal. So we're tied at 2. Two goals for Macy Kraut for Bel Air, 2 goals for Anna Stearns for Tech. Alternating goals, Bel Air scoring first and third, and Tech scoring second and fourth.
As long as they're taking turns.
Spoken like a commentator. I don't think the coach would have the same opinion of that.
Okay, one of the drawers moved a little early, so that was the Tech girl, and they awarded the ball to the Bel Air Bobcats.
Bobcats, that's Kayla Foudy, number 12 with the ball. Dan, you have a list of the officials there.
Yes, I do.
That's Macy Kraut with the ball. She's cut off. Go ahead.
So we have Jay Rickey, we have Josh Headley,
and there is the end of the first period, just as the shot gets off. Go ahead, Bill.
And our last one is Frank Hanley. So these guys do a great job controlling the game. Sometimes, some of the parents may not think so, or maybe some of the coaches may not think so, but these guys do a great job controlling the game.
Yeah, and absolutely, your point is well taken. It's not only making the calls, but keeping the game going on. You don't want to be looked at as the game. You want the girls to be
exactly. You want to showcase the girls and keep everybody safe.
Yep.
But definitely showcase the girls. it's a great time as an official if they leave if everybody leaves the field and they say who's the referees.
Very good. Yeah, yeah. If you're noticed as a referee, you probably made a bad call. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be the cause, and you want to showcase the girls.
I'm thinking about this new challenge system they have in Major League Baseball now, where it's really going to show the umpires, the plate umpires, who do their job well, and those that are not quite there. Because you'll see the challenges. You can keep challenging as long as you win the challenge.
Yeah, keep winning.
And so if you're a plate umpire that misses calls consistently, you're going to be shown up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and they get graded too. So they don't want to be called out on missing balls and strikes.
Well, we're happy that you all are tuned in with us here, Harford TV, bringing you all the excitement of spring sports. We've got boys lacrosse and girls lacrosse. We've got track and field. We've got baseball. We've got softball. Yeah, it's going to be great fun this whole year.
And you guys do a great job, absolutely fantastic job of showcasing the great athletes that we have up here in Harford County.
Well, the professionals, the guys behind the camera and the director and all those people, I mean, they are professionals. They have jobs working for big companies, obviously, and they do this kind of as a part-time side gig, and they just bring their expertise to it. So it even makes me
makes us
look
good.
good. Well, sound good.
Okay.
Maybe look good is a stretch.
All right. I have a face for radio.
We are at Harford Tech. Temperatures, I guess, in the 70s when we started. A little bit
breezy
chilly
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about that. A breeze. It's the wind is kind of gusting around 10 or 20 miles an hour. Does that affect the girls playing lacrosse?
Running down the field and you're with the wind, it gives you a little bit of a push to your back. Running against the wind it can be a little challenging. Not too much on the shots and where the ball's going, but just trying to traverse the field.
The ball is a very hard rubber ball. It's a little bit smaller than a baseball, and that little rascal travels fast.
Oh, yeah. You get hit with one of those, you're definitely going to know it.
You were talking about your daughter who played at Naval Academy and had bruises all up and down her arms, and someone said, has somebody been abusing you? No, I play lacrosse.
Yep, and it was totally understood, and
so
happened to my younger daughter at Penn State as well.
So when you're talking about girls lacrosse, you say, well, it's a non-contact sport. Well, yeah. Tell that to the bruises and so forth.
Yeah, the defenders will get after the girls and kind of poke them a little bit with the stick to try to dislodge the ball.
Well, here we go in the second period. 12 minutes. We are tied at 2. It was 1-0 Bel Air, 1-1, then 2-1 Bel Air, then 2-2, and that's where we are. As the draw now being anticipated.
See, she had the advantage with the girl behind her, so she drew the ball to the girl behind her, and she was able to come up with the draw control. And now they're motoring on offense.
And of course, Harford Tech now going from right to left as they switch goals during the periods. Again, 4 periods of play, and if we do end up with a tie, we go to sudden death overtime.
Yep. Nobody comes off the field. There's some. There's Anna with a real nice sidearm shot.
Yeah, a little bit high.
Little high.
Who was that took the shot? Was that Stearns again?
Anna.
Yeah, this young lady Anna Stearns, quite a player as a sophomore.
Yeah, she opened some college coaches' eyes this fall. Now this summer is going to be the 28th showcase. So they'll go through the summer tournaments, and then the coaches will take notes, and then they'll come to guys like me with the recruiting coordinators, and we'll figure out what's up.
It looks like Tech. There was a penalty called, and Tech will have the ball. It was outside the penalty.
Looked like Eve got a little physical there. Oh, there's
open.
There's Anna. And
no, just a bit wide.
She has a great shot. I mean, that was one of the things that college coaches talked to me about is her shot and her shot placement.
And again, as Dan was explaining, Tech retains the ball because they were closest when it went out of play.
Oh,
there's a goal. So Tech will take their first lead of the night, 10:41 here in the second period.
Look like Jordan Sears on the goal with a nice feed down by the goalie. She controlled it and fired it past the the Bel Air goalie.
Jordan Sears, number 10, another sophomore midfielder. Here you'll see Jordan Sears. Here's the pass coming. There's Sears with the ball.
That was a real nice catch.
And you see how she sort of hit it over the goalie's head?
Yep. Real good shot placement.
Jordan Sears now on the draw. Tech now leading at 3-2 early here in the second period.
Tech on the draw control again.
So if there was any doubt about Tech having played inferior competition, so now they're showing that they can play with, if you want to call it the big teams.
Yeah, the big boys.
With the reputation.
Big girls, sorry.
Yeah. Bobcats, of course, a team that is in transition. Kristen Berry said it is a rebuilding year. Good save by Maid. Val Maid makes that save. Again, they lost 5 of their top 7 offensive players. Intercepted. And the shot, good. Whoa.
I want to talk to you a little bit about, see, Anna had a little bit of patience on that shot and faked the goalie a couple times before actually.
Now, did they say it was, did it go in? No, they're saying it did not. Looked like it did from my vantage point.
Yeah, it looked like
it didn't, so we're still at 3-2, Tech with the ball.
No, but there's a.
Now it's
there's her famous sidearm blast.
Anna Stearns again at 9:46, so now it's a 2-goal lead for the Tech Cobras.
It's 3 for Anna on the night.
Yep, she has what they call the hat trick. So people will be throwing hats. No, that's ice hockey. I'm mistaken. The hat trick, and what, a minute and 3 minutes into the second period?
Yep.
Here you go. You'll see Stearns, and you notice that shot came from down around her ankle.
Yeah, that's a riser. Start low, and the goalie will start tracking low, and by the time it passes her, it's up in the upper quadrant.
So the Bobcats, who have had 2 leads tonight at 1-0 and 2-1, now find themselves down by 2 goals. First time either team has been down by more than 1.
And right now, Tech is actually
stolen away by the Bobcats.
They're having some success on the draw, but a nice defensive play here by Bel Air and turn the ball over, and they're going on offense. Let's see what they can do.
Brooke Conger was a young lady who made that interception. Go back to that goal by Stearns. She intercepted the ball, and like you said, kind of faked her out and then shot the ball.
Yeah, but I don't understand why they gave her a free position.
It looked like the ball went in the net, but we are about 75 yards away, so we'll take the officials. Probably got it right.
Yep, but then they gave her the free possession, and she ripped that free position.
Yeah. If I'm Val Maid and I see number 21 coming at me, I'm gonna.
You might want to double team.
Yeah.
Throw a double at her.
Who is guarding that young lady?
Or what some defenses will do is they'll stick their best defender on their top scorer for the other team.
Yeah.
And make you go somewhere else.
Well, so far it hasn't worked. There's the shot. Good block.
A little bit wide of the cage.
Yep. Emily Thomas, the
backed up well.
The freshman goalie. Val Maid is a senior for Bel Air, but again, she's a first-year netminder. She's been a defender all this time. Meantime, Emily Thomas is a true freshman.
There's nice defense by Harford Tech. Couldn't dislodge the ball.
Bel Air does get it. A little bit high. Looks like a foul's going to be called, though. Going to be Bel Air possession.
Don't know exactly what the call was, though.
Looks like the Bobcats will be given the ball. Nope, they're going to, yeah.
They'll give them, there's a dot back there where the Bel Air Bobcat is, and for possessions below GLE, they'll put them at the dot.
Goal line extended, GLE, I like that. Bobcats battle in front of the net. Down goes one of the Bobcats, no foul called. And here come the Cobras. Look at the speed.
Yeah, nice wheels.
Trying to pick up a number.
13.
Yeah, that's Quinn Runk.
Yep.
And a goal is scored. Quinn Runk takes it all the way down.
and gets rewarded for her efforts with a nice goal.
Wow, what a play. The sophomore, number 13, Quinn Runk, getting the hugs.
And I don't know if Momentum has a jersey, but I think it might be white right now.
Oh. The announcer, David Jansen, says the 100-meter dash. There she is, taking the ball all the way down and now shooting it right past Val Maid into the net. Looks like they may have put a new goalie in. Looks like number 3, Sarah Fatkin is number 3. We'll have to confirm that. Val Maid had started the game number 1. So 3 goals in a row now for the Tech Cobras. They lead it now by a score of 5-2. Yeah, 5-2. We have just updated our score.
Okay, Bel Air being a little bit patient on offense. They've kind of forced the issue with some errant passes. So right now they're trying to get it around, just kind of probing to see what Tech is throwing at them, and just exercising a little bit of patience right here.
And Dan, you were talking about momentum, and it certainly is on the side of the Cobras right now.
I think that's taking a little bit of air out of the ball with Bel Air is probably a real nice move. Looks like an offensive foul.
Oh my!
Moving pick.
Wow! And again, that relates to what they do in basketball. You cannot do the moving pick. So Tech will take over, leading by 3 goals. Bel Air Bobcats winning last year. This is their first league game, even though it's not a division game for the Bobcats or for the Cobras. They are in separate divisions. The Tidings for the Bobcats and the Hatem for Harford Tech. It's
a turnover in the midfield gives Bel Air the possession back.
And that's Eve Kraut, number 14. Spin move, Kraut, shot, Eve Kraut.
She is not shy.
Eve Kraut,
that was a nice spin.
The older sister of Macy Kraut, so now Eve Kraut has scored. Big goal at 5:41.
No, I think that might have been.
You think that might have been it? Macy again?
Yeah.
Yeah, number 14. You are absolutely right. It is the young lady who now has 3 goals. You'll see it's number 14.
Nice spin move here. And it's tough when she did that spin move. Her stick was behind her, and the goalie couldn't get a whole lot of visibility on the shot coming in.
Dan, you're absolutely right. So Macy Kraut now scored at 6:25 and 3:10 of the first period. Now has scored at 5:41 of the second period. She has 3 goals. Anna Stearns has 3 goals for the Tech Cobras, and now it is 5-3. Boy, what a big goal for Bel Air.
Yeah, it stemmed a little bit of the momentum that Harford Tech had. A nice turnover in the midfield for Bel Air. Got it in the offensive lane, and then Kraut just took it to cage. Strong move.
And Dan, it shows the standout player you've got for Stearns for the Cobras and Macy Kraut for Bel Air. That's the player you rely on, the one that you sort of get on her back and follow her. You need that kind of player to lead you.
Oh, definitely. When the going gets tough, you need that go-to player.
Macy Kraut, who had 5 goals in that first game lost to Concordia Prep, now has 3 more here tonight.
That was a nice check. Another check by Tech getting the ball back.
The Cobras, who were kind of dominated in the early part of the game, now they're the dominator. Cobras looking.
Probing the, there's a shooting space. But you'll watch the official who raised his flag.
Yeah.
Now, if they would have stopped and the momentum for the play, they would have awarded them a free position. But she went through with the shot, so that wiped out the flag.
But the Cobras retained possession because they were closest to the ball when it went out of play.
Correct. Oh, Anna got a lane.
Anna with a goal. Do not give Anna Stearns an open shot. Stearns with her 4th goal of the game. This one coming at 4:23.
Yeah, you don't want to give her any kind of a lane to cage.
And now they're saying Sears.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was wrong.
It is Sears this time, number 10. Sorry, Jordan.
Sorry.
Didn't want to take it away from Jordan. Jordan Sears with a goal, the sophomore midfielder.
Yeah, that was. She saw her opening, took it to cage, and ripped one.
So 6-3 is the score. So
we apologize.
Like 5-3 it was, and Bel Air was back in the game, and now they're back down 6-3. Sears with a great shot.
Aggressive to cage, made it pay off.
We'll continue to try to check on that goalie for the Bobcats to see if it is still Val made or if they have made a switch. We're not sure who's in the goal right now.
Right now, Tech is dominating on the circle.
Come, there's Stearns.
Oh, that's a really nice pass.
And a great save by the goalie.
Couldn't control the pass. Oops.
Battle for the possession of the ball.
Nice.
Taken, it's still open.
And that's an empty stick.
Explain
empty stick
that.
check. So as the player was going for the ball, she did not have possession yet, but they hit her stick while she didn't have it.
Turnover.
And they'll award possession to the girl who had the stick checked.
And Dan, the great thing about the calling and penalties as they do, there's no time. They don't stop play.
No, it's keep it rolling.
Yeah.
There was a time when you had to get 4 meters behind.
There's a shot and a goal.
One.
Let's see who that may have been. Is that number?
I think
showing number 3.
Okay.
Watch. Here's a.
They've awarded Bel Air the ball, and I'm not quite sure why.
Okay, so no goal that time. The ball went in the net, but no goal was scored.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure of why they took the ball away from Harford Tech.
Cobras, Bel Air with the ball. Now the Cobras intercept. They have the ball. And a goal is scored. Trying to look for that number. It looks like number 6 for the Cobras. That's Hayden Hurst. Hurst with the goal. Make it 7-3. That goal coming at 2:56.
There's a nice turnover in the midfield.
You'll see the replay. You'll see how Hayden Hurst, number 6, the sophomore.
No, that was 10. Jordan again. We keep getting her wrong.
I'm sorry, Jordan. Jordan is the goal scorer. So Sears has 2 goals in a row. You know, we could use the excuse of those numbers are hard to see.
Yeah, okay.
But no, Jordan Sears scoring 2 in a row.
And now she's taking the draw. So she does it all for the Harford Tech squad.
7-3 the score now. It's a 4-goal lead, biggest lead of the night for either team. Bobcats have led by 1 twice and now find themselves down by 4.
Okay, but you know, in previous draws it's been Harford Tech. Now Bel Air stemmed the tide a little bit and got a draw control again. Can't score without the ball.
Conger with the ball, gives it off to Eve Kraut. Conger again. Bobcats desperately need a goal here with 2:20 left in the first half. Oh,
nice defense there by Tech.
Well, the Cobras are making believers out of this crowd. A home crowd, and speaking of the crowd, nice crowd here on a Thursday night.
A beautiful night. Oh, there's a nice check by,
Conger down she goes. That's not going to be allowed. That's going to send a Tech Cobra player off the field.
Yeah, that was a little too aggressive again. Like we said, the officials doing a nice job of keeping this game safe.
Remember, the Cobras were down 2 players back
at
earlier.
one point. It didn't. Bel Air wasn't able to penetrate their defense.
And it almost seemed like from that point, that's when the momentum switched, and the Cobras have dominated the game from that point.
Great point, Don.
That's Conger with the ball.
Now let's see what they can do with their man up or woman up situation.
Need a goal. What was it, a 1-minute penalty?
I think that might have been a 2 because that was a little aggressive.
Okay. So the Bobcats in no big hurry. They want to get a good shot, and they do get the shot, and they get the goal. Is that Conger? I think it's number 2, Brooke Conger, with the goal.
Yep, you're correct. Senior attacker for the Bel Air Bobcats, and also one of their captains.
Yup. Here you'll see the replay making it 7-4. Conger, great shot.
Really nice speed trying to attack cage. And also had a defender in between her and the goalie, so a little bit of a screen. And the goalie couldn't quite pick up the shot, and it was a real nice shot placement by Brooke.
7-4, back to within 3. Well, if the Bobcats could score again here before the end of the half to make it a 2-goal deficit, opposite if Tech can score, well, here you'll see this draw, and it's an interesting way to determine possession. If you're familiar with the boys lacrosse, where they get down looking like they're in a scrum.
And again, I don't know the actual stats, but definitely Tech has won their fair share of draws.
And
there's a turnover.
And ground balls are so important too.
That's a skill that college coaches in the summer tournaments.
What's the call here? Is there a timeout?
Bel Air timeout.
Timeout for the Bel Air Bobcats with 1:09. Looks like they may be trying to come up with a play to score to get closer here at the half.
Yep, get a nice offensive play, get their offense set, and who they want to handle the ball, who they want to handle the shot.
Remember, the score was 2-2 when we entered the second period, and then 3 straight goals by the Tech Cobras, making it 5-2. Bel Air came back, made it 5-3, but then 2 more goals by Sears, scoring both of those, making it 7-3, and then Conger with a goal just a moment ago, making it 7-4. Bobcats with the ball, a chance to draw closer if they can.
It's been a nice offensive showing by the Cobras of Harford Tech, with Anna with 3 goals and
Jordan Sears with 2, which we tried to take both away from him. But the Cobras again have, I'm really, I don't want to say I'm surprised or shocked, but if you think about the first part of the game, it looked like the Bobcats were dominating, had the ball in possession in their offensive end, and then all of a sudden it turned around and Tech got those goals, and they've sort of been now the team to beat.
To your point, though, when they had that 2-man advantage and weren't able to penetrate the Tech defense, they stole a little bit of the momentum away from Bel Air, and then pumped in a few quick goals, and away they went.
Confidence. Kristen Berry, the 12th year science teacher / lacrosse coach at Bel Air. She had a great team last year, a team that went 8-1 in the Yuckback, lost to Falston in the title game for the Yuckback. She said, this is a rebuilding year. We lost 5 of our 7 starters on offense and our 2 top goalies. Val Maid stepped up, the defenseman, and said, hey, I'll play goalie. And so she has played goalie here. They lost their first game of the year. They lost to Concordia Prep of the IAAM 10-7. Harford Tech winning their first 2 games 23-3 over Elkton and 19-4 over Edgewood. And Dan, as we said, that's against, let's say, the competition is maybe not as good.
Right, not the top echelon.
Now they're stepping up, and tonight they have shown, hey, that was no fluke.
No, they're for real. They have girls that can put the ball in the net, and they've also proved that they can play some pretty good defense, and their goalie's stepping up for them as well.
And Dan, when you look at it, 4 freshmen, 6 sophomores, a freshman starting at goalie, how can a team that young be this good?
Again, it goes to the preparation and the programs at the fundamental levels. The rec programs out there teaching the girls the right way to play.
Net is open, 49 seconds, and the clock is continuing. It looks like Tech will get the turnover, so it looks like they have stemmed the tide and can go into the halftime with at least a 3-goal lead. They're not content, though. They'd like to make it 4.
Girls running into
30
a crowd
seconds.
Of Bel Air Bobcats, but
inside 30. Cobras with a chance now to go up by 4.
Trying to get the ball to Anna. A little bit of a force there, but Bel Air or Harford Tech retains possession.
Yeah, Cobras
15 seconds left in the half.
Now inside 10.
Nice dodge.
Shot.
There
Goal!
it is.
Oh my goodness! With
3
3.3 seconds left. See if we see.
And that was a Jordan, I think, again. This time we actually got her.
Jordan Sears, number 10 with the goal. Now she has a hat trick. So instead of going in 2 goals down, it's going to be 4 goals down for the Bobcats. There she is.
Again, avoiding the check from one of the Bel Air defenders, and great shot placement.
And that is Val made in the nets for the Bobcats, and you could see the frustration on her face. Really, not a whole lot she could do about it.
No, that was some nice dodging skills by Jordan, and really great shot placement.
So it looks like Stearns has 3 goals for 3 or 4. Let me count them. You have 3. And now Sears has 3 goals. Looks like Sears actually has 4 goals for the Tech Cobras. And there is the end of the first half with the score 8-4. The Harford Tech Cobras on top, breaking away from a 2-2 tie at the quarter, scoring 6 goals there in that second period.
Yeah, they showed some nice offensive firepower, sharing the ball, but then when the opportunity presents itself, taking the ball 1v1 to Cage and burying the opportunity.
Well, Dan, we'll take a break here at the halftime. The coaches are going to be talking to their 2 teams. I'll ask you what you would have said if you were a coach on both sidelines. So we'll take a break and we'll come back with the second half action from Harford Tech, the Bel Air Bobcats. Hello, hello.
Okay, we've started our second half with the draw control.
Yeah.
Right now, the officials are trying to sort through exactly who has the ball.
Yeah, yeah. As we sort through, we were having a halftime conversation, and suddenly the game interrupted our conversation.
Yeah. I mean,
dare them. Yeah, our score now at the half, 8-4. That last goal that was scored by Tech Cobras, if we think about it, Dan, at the end of the game, wow. It could have been a Bel Air goal. They could have been back within 2.
Yep.
Instead, they turn it over. The Tech Cobras bring it all the way down and score, and now it's a 4-goal game.
Yeah, 2-goal swing. Let's see if the Bel Air offense is a little different coming out of the halftime talk.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, if you were down by 4 goals and you had just scored on with 3 seconds left, if you're Kristen Berry, what do you say to your team?
We need to be a little bit more patient on offense. We're trying to force the ball, and we're getting turnovers. We also got to do a better job on the draw control because Tech really dominated the draw circle. And, again, you can't score if you don't have the ball.
And, we were thinking Stearns, and now Sears has popped up and scored 4 goals for the Cobras. So, yeah, you got 1 person you got to stop. Then you got 2 people you have to stop.
Yeah, it's quite a conundrum for the Bel Air defense.
I love that word. That's 2 words. Amphibian? No.
Ambidextrous.
Oh, that one. And now conundrum. I'm writing them down here. How do you spell conundrum?
I have no idea.
Well, here we go. The Bobcats needing a goal. Got a free person. Ball shot just a bit wide. Boy, that would.
It was a nice feed by the attacker behind the goal, and just shot a little wide.
Yeah, and then we're talking about coaches. Again, if you're the coach for the Harford Tech Cobras,
keep doing what we're doing. We've been explosive on offense. Our draw control team has been really, really effective. Let's keep doing what we're doing.
Layla Gagne, who played at Aberdeen, played for Looney's. I guess in a club team.
Mm-hmm.
And in her second year as head coach, she was 2 years as an assistant. She is a wedding photographer, I think we mentioned.
Yeah. So get a little plug for his business.
Yeah.
Okay, you can see Bel Air's being a little bit more deliberate with the ball. And that was a nice feed on the last offensive possession.
Yeah,
she got her hands free and had a nice shot.
Yeah, we're like 9 minutes into here, or 3 minutes into, and the Bobcats have controlled the ball. And just as we say that, the Cobras come away with it.
Couldn't handle the pass down by the end line.
But they had the ball, but they never really got a shot attempt off.
No, they were just trying to be a little bit more patient with the ball, trying to probe the defense of Tech.
But you're down by 4 goals, so you gotta score.
Yeah, but it's still early in the second half. So
the one thing you can't afford is let the Cobras score again here.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit of a dagger, but you know, with lacrosse, you know, it's famous for some big time swings.
Yeah, well, we saw one here tonight. Cobras with the ball, circling.
Stearns with the ball controlling.
Number 21. And the Cobras are showing patience, and again up by 4 goals.
Yeah, it's a pretty good formula.
Yeah.
Bel Air may want to start to force the action a little bit and be a little bit more aggressive right now. They're kind of sitting back on defense.
Yeah.
Can't afford too much more of that with time ticking off the clock.
And again, with no shot clock, unlike the IAM rules, Cobras could just hold the ball as long as they want.
Yep.
Of course, Bel Air might have something to say about that, but you know, they don't have to shoot the ball.
Again, nice patience by Tech.
Hey, you don't have a shot, don't turn it over.
Clock's your friend right now.
Shot.
Oh.
Goal. Goal for the Cobras.
Is that Jordan again?
Is that number 10? It looks like it might be Jordan Sears. That is her 5th goal of the game. That one coming at 7:09 of the 3rd period.
Oh, no.
No, it is number 17 this time. That's Oksana Jansen, the daughter of David Jansen, who's the young man playing the music for each of the goals. By the way, when Tech scores, they have their song that they get played, you know, kind of like the walk-up music for a baseball player.
Home team advantage.
Oksana Jansen, the sophomore.
And please excuse us if we've we've misidentified some goal scorers. The Tech numbers are a little hard to read.
They are there. Yep. But they're keeping us straight here. Sears with the 4 goals, 3 goals for Stearns, Runk with 1, and now Jansen with 1. By the way, her older sister played at C. Milton Wright.
I'm a little familiar with that school, Don, with 3 of my girls going. Nice look. Oh, that was a nice save.
It is. It was that Val Maid coming out and making the save. Again, remember Val Maid, who this is her first time in the net, even though she's a senior, been a defender all the years that she's been playing.
But stepping up for her team where they needed her.
Yeah, both goalies graduated. 5 of the 7 offensive players graduated. Kristen Berry said this will be a rebuilding year for the Bel Air Bobcats. Doesn't mean they can't win.
Oh, great save. A great
Did the ball go
goalie
in?
tried to clear. The Tech player, let's see who that was. Number 3.
3 for the Cobras. That would be
Presley Sears, the sister.
Presley Sears, the freshman. Yeah, Presley Sears, number 3 with the goal. So it's Sears again, this time Presley Sears, the freshman.
Getting a little family action in the goal scoring column.
You having the girls who played together, I mean, having the familiarity of having a sister playing on your team, like the 2 Kraut sisters for Bel Air Bobcats, the Sears sisters for the Cobras.
Yeah.
That gives you an advantage.
Definitely, it does, because you know their mannerisms, you know when to feed them the ball, you know when they're going to make a move. So it's definitely advantageous.
That's Foudy, number 12, and now it is Conger. Bobcats desperately need a goal.
Yeah, they definitely need a goal here. But Tech's playing some really tough, sticky defense here.
When we go back to the end of that second period where Bobcats had a chance to score and go pull within 2 goals, instead Cobras took the ball, went up by 4, and they scored the first 2 goals here of the second half.
Number 14 getting a little aggressive.
That was Finley Donahue, number 9, passing the ball.
Nice team defense there by Tech. The Bel Air player advanced to the cage, and they cut her off with a nice two-man defense.
Steve Kraut directing traffic.
Oh, no.
Ball goes.
Little wayward pass there, turnover, and it's Harford Tech ball.
Ball by Tiffany Jew, number 4, the junior. So
Can ill afford some of those, non-unforced turnovers.
yeah.
They keep coaches up at night.
Again, talking to Bob McCone, I said, would you rather lose a game 2-1 or 10-0? 2-1, you stay up all night and say, I could have won the game. 10-0, hey, I was out of the game. I'll take that 2-1 loss every time. I was in the game.
Being as competitive as I was in my youth, I didn't like to lose, period.
Exactly. Here come the Cobras.
Set up on offense, be a little bit patient. They have a nice 6-goal cushion. No need to force the ball. Get it around, get everybody a touch.
And what a momentum, what a confidence builder for the Tech Cobras if they can go ahead and win this game, regardless of the fact that Bel Air is a rebuilding team.
Yeah, they're still Bel Air.
Yeah, it's like back in the day, you beat Bel Air, you've done something. Good job by Val Maid, making that save.
Yep.
Cobras come away with the ball, though.
But they are scrappy. the ball's on the ground. Harford Tech's finding a way to get the ball.
Boy, Dan, that's a great analogy. Scrappy, that's what they are. Give no quarter.
We got an offensive foul here, a little bit of a moving screen. So Harford Tech turns the ball over to the Bel Air, and let's see what Bel Air can generate on offense.
The Bobcats had leads 2-1 and 3-2.
This is what they can't afford right now is turnovers. They got to make the most of all of their possessions.
Yeah. Bad enough when you have the ball taken away from you, but when you have the unforced error, as you mentioned, that makes it even worse. The Harford Tech Cobras. Riley Morris, number 24. One of the defensemen who had the ball momentarily. Again, you don't have a shot, don't take it.
No. Looks like a 3-second rule. So that's an interesting rule that off the ball, if you're not engaged with your offensive player within a stick length, they will call a foul. They call it a 3-second. If you're not engaged in a 3-second time frame, they'll turn the ball over and you get a free position within the the circle.
So the Cobras have.
Oh, there we go.
And another goal.
Little bit from long distance.
Wow, that shot came from about what, 15 yards out?
Yeah, she was right at the 8, and let that rip.
Is that Sears, number 10?
I think it might have been 13. Oksana's. Oh, nobody.
Yeah, Jordan Sears.
We keep giving away her goals.
She's got now 6 goals on the night, 11-4, the score. Jordan Sears.
She'll need an ice bath after tonight, after this game.
Remember, Sears didn't have a goal until the second period. She scored the first goal of the second period and scored 2 there at 4:23 and 2:56. And then she had that kind of backbreaker with 3 seconds left in the half for her 4th goal.
Now here with the draw, it's got to go above shoulder length or shoulder height, and it kind of came out on their waist. So now they're going to redo the draw.
11-4. This game was tied at 2-2 after 1 period. And then the Cobras just sort of took control, scoring 3 straight goals to go up by 5-2. It's been all Harford Tech since the beginning of that second period.
And I think some of the youth is showing on the Bel Air side. with some of the passes not quite connecting, some of the unforced turnovers that they've had. Starting to their youth is starting to show a little bit.
And Dan, the youth, they've got only 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores, starting 6 seniors and 2 juniors, but those seniors and juniors don't have a whole lot of playing experience. So even though they're older in class, in playing experience, they're now just learning it. Learning to be a starter this year.
Yep.
Oh, nice save.
And you can tell the Bel Air squad's getting a little frustrated.
Emily Thomas, what a save by that freshman goalie. I mean, what kind of confidence does this build in Emily Thomas as a freshman?
Take this momentum and take that through the rest of the year.
I say, Thomas, I may need to check this. Number 25 is the other goalie, and that's Caitlin Lapido. They say that they play.
They split?
Yeah, they play 1/2 each, so I think it might be Lapido in the net now for the Cobras. We'll try to check that out.
Yeah, I didn't get the goalie actual numbers. The coach just told me goalie.
Yeah, she's number 25 is Lapido, but we'll try to check.
Oh, there's a nice pass by 17.
17 is Oksana Jansen.
That was a real nice pass, and then conversion.
Conversion by, is that number 13 who gets the goal?
3?
Yep. That's Presley Sears, her second goal. You'll see that pass.
That was really nice pass, and then
sort of the open net.
Yep.
Boy, you could see the excitement. Oksana Jansen.
She almost jumped out. She almost jumped as high as she is tall.
She is happy with the assist. And, I think that real competitors, they would much rather have a great assist than a goal. A goal is kind of the easy part of it. The assist is the hard part.
Yeah, that's where your teammates shine.
Mm-hmm. And now it is 12-4.
This is definitely a surprise in the lacrosse world in Harford County.
Coming down to the last few seconds here of the third period.
Our Bel Air player got impeded a little bit on her path to the goal, and foul was called and awarded ball to Bel Air.
Inside 10 seconds. Bobcats could really use a goal right here. 3 seconds, 2 seconds.
Yeah, I don't.
And that is the end of the third period. The Harford Tech Cobras came into the period leading 8-4. They scored all 4 goals in that third period to go up 12-4.
They shut out the Bobcats in that quarter.
Yeah, we were talking about what the coaches were saying at half. And again, I think if you're Layla Gagne, you say to your Harford Tech coach, you guys are playing well. Just keep up what you're doing.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. You're playing great. You're getting the ball on the draw control. You're patient on offense. You're sharing the ball, and on defense, you guys are doing really well. And your goalie has bailed you out a few times when the Bel Air Bobcats have gotten their hands free and ripped some shots. So they're hitting on all cylinders right now, Don.
And Dan Gallagher, we'll go back again to that 2-down situation that Harford Tech found themselves in. And Bel Air had, the advantage of having, 12 players to 10.
Yep.
Yet instead of scoring, Harford Tech withstood that. And from that point forward, it just seemed like the confidence.
Yeah, the air kind of went out of the Bel Air team.
Yep.
Like, daggone it, we couldn't score with 2.
That and the goal that was scored right at the end of the half when, Bel Air has a chance to pull within 2. Instead, the Cobras steal the ball, score, they're up by 4 at half.
Yep, that's a big 2-goal swing right there. And again, momentum is a fleeting thing, and the momentum is definitely wearing the white jersey tonight.
The white home jerseys of the Harford Tech Cobras. I want to thank Paul Danielle and Kyle Moore, the athletic directors here. Mr. Pat, who also helps out well. We were just told we have viewers watching from Quebec, Canada.
Now, Canada is a strong lacrosse country. They have a nice box lacrosse program up in Canada, but You know, they're one of the stronger countries when it comes to international competition.
So should we say, hey?
That's what it's all about.
Hey to the Canadians.
It's a great organization.
Oh, you had that Canadian accent going very well. Well, here we go now into the fourth period. If you're the Bel Air Bobcats, yeah, you've still got time. The pride.
But you gotta start to push the gas pedal on defense. You gotta come out and you start to force the action. Right now, they're kind of sitting on the 12 and waiting for Harford Harford Tech to make a move. They gotta start to initiate on defense, and you know, getting the ball on the draw control is going to be critical.
Tech, by the way, won the JV game 3-2.
Yeah, that was an exciting nail biter at the end that we got to see.
So it looks like the Cobras are going to have a clean sweep of the Bel Air Bobcats here. Remember, Bel Air won last year in the meeting between the two. Last time these two teams will meet, unless they either win their division or they're the top team record-wise that didn't win one of the three divisions. That's the new setup in the Yuckback. Mixed reviews. There will be at the end of the year the three divisions, each winner, and then the team that has the best record that didn't win a division, there'll be a 14 playoff. I kind of like it, Dan.
Yeah, you know, the previous format was, you know, the upper division played the lower division, and
they stopped doing that after you know, the upper division always just slaughtered the lower division, so you ended up having two champions, a Chesapeake champion and a Susquehanna champion. Now you have one champion.
Yep.
So what they did is they took the Cecil County schools, they're in the Conowingo division, and then the two Harford County groups, 10, they divided them 5 each, one in Hatem and the other in Tidings. And these two teams, Bel Air's in the Tidings, Harford Tech is in the Hatem.
And there's always some great boys and girls lacrosse in Harford County.
Yep.
You know, and the schools that you can, you know, talk about is C. Milton Wright. Falston always has strong programs. North Hartford always has strong programs. And Bel Air's always been a stalwart when it comes to women's and boys lacrosse.
Yeah, like we said, they were 8-1 last year in the Yuckback Tidings division, but they ended up losing to Falston in the Yuckback Championship, lost to Towson in the 3A North Region final game.
Okay, we got a foul here. Got to be careful with your sticks. And she got a little careless and got her stick up into the face of the Harford Tech player.
And again, no helmets. Yeah, they do have goggles. Now, there was a day, maybe 10 years ago or more, where they didn't wear goggles.
Yeah. Yep.
And so they have toughened up a little bit in terms of, you know, the protective equipment. Back in the day, it was considered just, well, a non-contact sport. You had, you know, no goggles, no teeth guard.
Yeah, mouth guards.
Mouth guard, yeah. So like you said, you end up with bruises on your arms because those sticks.
Yeah, you can tell the offensive players from the defensive players, you know, just by the bruises on their arms.
And if you ever get hit by a lacrosse ball, it's not a lot of fun.
No.
Not a lot of fun at all.
I've gotten hit by baseballs, and I'd rather get hit with a baseball than one of these hard lacrosse balls.
Absolutely.
A little overzealous defense there by Harford Tech.
Coming up on the 10-minute mark.
Now they have to maximize possessions right now. They can't afford to come up empty too many more times. There's a nice play by the Harford Tech defender there.
Macy Kraut had the hat trick early in the second period, and she's not scored again since then. In fact, the Bel Air Bobcats have scored just one goal. When they were down 5-3, looked like they were coming back, had a chance to get back in the game, but then Harford Tech scored the last 3 goals of that first half, and then all 4 goals in the third period.
Yeah, I think Bel Air's got to turn around and isolate some of their better players like the Krauts and get them isolated on a Tech defender and get them going to cage, utilizing some screens and some. So right now they're a man up. Or actually, Bel Air's a man down, and so they're Tech right now is double teaming the ball.
So again, if you're the Harford Tech Cobras, you beat Elkton 23-3, you beat Edgewood 19-4, and everybody says, yeah, but you know they're not very good programs. Now I think you're
that was a piper.
Now you're going to have to take this Tech team seriously. Playing for pride right now. Dan, I mean, you're not going to win the game. You're down by 8 goals. But you don't want to give up.
Oh, that give up is not a term in the vernacular of an athlete.
You're a developing team.
You get life lessons and you get sports lessons, and this is going to be a little bit of both.
It is, yeah. Kristen Berry said that this was a rebuilding year, a year that they had to get, just forget the fact they lost all those starters last year and deal with what they have.
There's a tough turnover again. Bel Air's got to maximize their possessions, and they just turned the ball over again.
We've said it so many times, I just keep repeating, 4 freshmen and 6 sophomores. That's 10 of the 12 that are underclassmen to the point of being, first or second year for the Harford Tech Cobras. So if you're the rest of the league, Dan, and you see this score,
I think you put the rest of the league on. Harford Tech's put the rest of the league on notice.
Yeah.
There's a foul on Anna Stern, being a little overzealous with the stick.
If the Cobras hang on here, it looks like they, should, and go to 3-0. Again, this being a non-division game.
But still, it's bragging rights in Harford County.
And it counts for postseason seeding and all those kind of things. This being a very early season game.
Now, don't go through
3 people. That doesn't usually work.
No.
But if you're Brooke Conger, number 2, one of the seniors and one of the senior captains for the Bobcats.
Yeah, you got discretion is the better part of valor there.
And then you know that if you're a senior on a rebuilding team, this is your swan song. This is it for you. So you can't just say, well, we're building for the next year. No.
No, your year is now.
Yeah.
You want to make that senior year special.
Want to go out on top if you can. Coming up on the 6-minute mark.
And right now, Tech's a man or a woman down. So right now they're trying to milk some clock, make the penalty dissipate. But when you have a path to cage like Tech almost did there, you got to take advantage.
Yeah.
So right now they're milking the clock, trying to play a little bit of keep away.
Jordan Sears, a sophomore. Presley Sears, a freshman. The 2 sisters on the Harford Tech team.
Nice wheels here.
Doesn't shoot the ball, didn't have an opening.
No, she mishandled the ball a little bit. Couldn't quite fire it up. And now we got a foul.
Clock running down, 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. Jordan Sears with 6 goals on the night.
Yeah, she's had a nice night, huh?
Not bad, especially since she didn't score her first goal until 10:41 of the second period.
And they're doing a nice job right now, playing a little keep away.
Are we even yet on the penalty?
No, we're still a man down or a player down.
The Cobras, again, if you go back to that time that they were 2 down and they played it out without giving up a goal, they have really done well playing a person down. Again, there is no shot clock. They don't have to shoot the ball. They can play keep away if they want.
Right now, they're doing a really nice job of that. Right now, they're spreading out. They're not allowing Bel Air to go and double team the ball. They're spread out, and they're doing a nice job of just playing a little keep away.
How frustrating is that if you're the Bobcats?
Oh, it's really frustrating, and you kind of see a little bit of frustration on that last foul.
Yeah.
Now they're doubling the ball. Harford Tech's got to get out of their own way right
there.
Yeah,
that's true. You don't. Yeah, again.
Don't want to take your defender and bring her to the ball.
Again, we talked about basketball likeness of the games, and that's exactly the same thing. Spread out the floor.
Bel Air with a little slash penalty right there. So
the Bobcats are now So it looks like we might be even?
Yep, we're even right now, but it looks like Anna's penalty is about to expire.
Anna Stearns, the young lady who went off for the Harford Tech Cobras. Must have been a 2-minute foul.
Yep. Yeah, she got a little overzealous with the sick. And again, the referees are doing a really nice job of protecting the players and keeping the game in check.
A beautiful night here at Harford Tech. Again, the Cobras are always, you go to schools, they're all very nice to us, but Harford Tech in particular, they just like having us here. We like being here.
It's a great facility as well.
Wonderful facility. Except the stairs. You notice they get steeper every year?
I think that's us, Don.
Oh, you mean I'm getting older?
Yes, exactly.
I tried taking steps 2 at a time. That didn't work either. So
I asked for the elevator.
They don't have one, darn it.
Yeah, I got a rude awakening with that.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing you sort of plan your trips. You notice when I wanted the names of the officials, I yelled,
yeah.
Dan, would you get the names of the officials? Yeah. Again, our Harford Tech crew, Mark Zervis, the director, and the entire crew doing a great job here. Our first event, we were rained out, muddy fielded out on Monday in the baseball game.
Oh, nice save.
I think she saved that maybe with
her
face.
Yeah, she did.
And again, I think that is Lapido, Caitlin Lapido, who's playing in the net. If they're following their normal process, and that is of alternating goalies, Emily Thomas playing the first half, and now Caitlin Lapido playing the second half.
Okay, so now Harford Tech's a man up, but if they're well, okay, never mind. they attack cage.
There you go. A goal for the Harford Tech Cobras. Is that Sears?
13.
13. And that's
Oksana, right?
Gwen Runk is number 13.
No, you're right.
Gwen Runk, that would be her second goal. Gwen Runk.
And she's more of their a little bit of a defensive specialist. And she's chipped in here with a couple of nice goals.
So, since the beginning, here's a replay you'll be able to see at 2:29. That goal is scored.
Real nice look here. Found the open player and got her the ball, and a real nice shot placement as well.
That's the first goal of the fourth period for either team. Matter of fact, Harford Tech is the only team that scored here after the half. It was 8-4 at the half, and now it's 13-4. They scored 4 unanswered goals in the third period, and now this goal by Quinn Runk with 2:29 left in the game.
I think I know what the practice plan is going to be for Bel Air this coming week. Is working on a little bit of offense.
Yeah. Dan, you and I both said if you just looked at the first part of the game, the first period, at least the first half of the first period, Bobcats dominated. Looked like they had, everything going for them, including the lead at 1-0 and 3-2. But it's been all Harford Tech.
Yeah. Got to give Harford Tech some credit. Down, and the beginning of the game wasn't, going quite their way, but they stuck with it and had some resilience and have played really well since then.
Confidence.
And they're moving the ball well.
If
they're finding their teammates.
Sharing the ball. And you said it, I think the word you used, scrappy.
Yep.
And that would describe this team, that they don't take anything off the ground balls. If it's on the ground, we're going to get it.
Yeah. It's been really nice to see. It's one of the fundamentals of the game. You get throwing, catching, and ground balls, and that's your foundation.
Yep. Very, very impressive, the Harford Tech Cobras, as we wind down toward the 1-minute mark left in the game.
But you got to give Bel Air credit. They're still playing hard.
Oh yeah. Conger looking to try to get the shot off.
She got
knocked down.
Yep. She got a foul, so she'll get an 8-meter.
Clock running at 1:09. Dan Gallagher, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us and adding your expertise.
It's been a blast. I love doing it, and with a true professional like you, Don, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Again, you said it just like I wrote it for you. True professional. That was the words I used. Yeah. Thank you, Dan. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Hope
you. I enjoy it.
We'll be back again all season long, our 32nd season on the air. Covering everything from boys lacrosse to track and field. Our buddy Ray Bruce will be doing the track and field.
Ray's a fountain of knowledge, that man.
He is that. 23.9 seconds, the clock stopped.
Yeah, there's a foul on Harford Tech, and a little over aggressive.
Jordan Sears with 6 goals on the night.
They're getting their sticks in the passing lanes and knocking down balls, and some unforced turnovers. So the Bel Air coaching staff has some work cut out for them for their practice plans.
3 goals for Anna Stearns, pardon me, and 3 goals also for the young lady from Bel Air, that's Macy Kraut. And that is the end of the game, as it is a final score of 13-4. A game that was tied at 2-2 after one period. A 4-goal lead for the Harford Tech Cobras at the half. They scored the last, last 7 goals.
Yeah, they had a shutout in the second half. Got to give the defense from Harford credit.
Actually, the last 5 goals, all 4 goals in the third period, and that 1 goal in the fourth period. Dan Gallagher, it has been an impressive outing by the Harford Tech Cobras. They win it by a final score of 13-4. They go to 3-0 on the year. They're 1-0 in the league. Bel Air Bobcats drop to 0-2. This is their first game, not in the division, but in the UCBAC League.
And serve notice for the rest of the Harford County girls lacrosse programs that they're for real.
Yep, and hello to our viewers in Quebec,
Canada. All right, we going international.
We have to talk loudly so they can hear us up in Quebec.
That's what it's all about.
Thanks for tuning in. Dan Gallagher, Don Morrison. Pleasure here at Harford Tech as the Cobras win by a final score of 13-4. Good night, everyone.